And if y'all saw that, just ignore.
Uh,
Sometimes you have to wonder. Yeah, I think they saw that. You have to do that again. Okay, we've got a delayed reaction here. There it came.
there we go. Get it over here.
All
Now.
right. Hello, everybody. It's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead, and Danny's sitting there being weird with his glasses. I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but anyway, he's
Yeah.
sitting there being stupid, making me laugh.
Gotta make Miss Wanda laugh. I gotta have her laughing.
Oh,
Good evening.
oh Lord, don't start the Count Dracula person.
Ah, yeah, there we go.
All
Let's
right, so
see.
what's everybody been doing?
Yeah.
The Country Humans Network.
That's a new one, sounds like.
No, we've had them on. They've been on quite a bit.
Oh,
There's Raisin Ronies.
hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hello from South Central Kentucky. Beautiful Montana, West Virginia. Good Lord, people from all over the country.
Yeah.
It's moving so fast now, I can't even keep up with it. Indiana, golly.
Yeah, I've got one daughter that's in Kansas.
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 In Kansas is today.
We're not in Kansas no more.
Unless she left today.
She probably
she's supposed
left.
to leave tomorrow. Um, her oldest, Bree,
So. Look at that.
was in a homeschool volleyball tournament in Kansas this week. So
Yeah.
they've been gone. And Raising Ronies is my other daughter.
Huh.
She's here with us. She got a wrench.
Yeah, she got
Yeah.
a wrench. Yeah, she got a wrench.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Miss Lippy may have give her a wrench, or did I give you a wrench?
Who
I don't
knows?
know.
It doesn't matter. We got from North
All
Carolina,
right, Jennifer was in there
Pennsylvania.
Let me make sure I got the right person.
You better.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Now,
Yeah, I did it. I did it.
you did it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's up? Let's see here. Now,
We've had what, 3 or 4 mornings that's been really cool. What was
we
the temperature?
we got down in the 30s one morning. We got down to 38 degrees here.
Yeah.
Man, I thought something. I thought I had woke up in another state or something other. Man, it was.
There's Tim.
It got plumb cold here, and then the wind was blowing on top of that.
ABC XYZ said their first Vago bed came today.
All right.
Danny has 2 more he's got to put together.
I got 2 sitting out there. It's been sitting in the high tunnel now for about a week and a half, and I ain't got time. But Tim knows what I'm talking about. Tim will tell you. I've been working on the syrup furnace.
Jennifer said Trey had a 5K race today.
All right.
Yeah, y'all, our grandkids are growing up.
Our grandkids are growing into athletic
Athletes.
people.
Athletes, that's all of them.
Both sides of our family, my side, your side, everybody's athletic.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to you and me, but
I don't either, but my oldest,
well, I could run. I could still run.
Hope and Christopher are into the basketball.
Yeah.
My Maggie, my youngest daughter, her oldest is into
Volleyball.
She does play some basketball, but her son is getting into basketball. Then you've got
Well, Cade's into martial arts. He's into basketball, and then he's arch. One of them was
into dance.
One of them was in archery.
Yeah, they were, but I think they're out now. Trey was into archery.
Trey was into archery, and my daughter's
he's into
son.
running, and what is it?
He's jiu-jitsu
and lifting
and powerlifting, and then Carrie's boys are into baseball and everything.
all kinds of baseball and all. So they're just all over the place. The kids they're very athletic.
They are. Which I'm glad, because they're not couch potatoes. So many kids you see nowadays, all they do is sit around and just diddle their thumbs and couldn't beat their way out of a wet paper sack,
All right, somebody said they love the sweet potato video. Yes, I did the Azure Standard cannon them because so many people were wanting to know what to do with them, and I had one jar that did not seal. I did 10 quarts and I think 16 or 18 pints out of a 20-pound box.
Yep.
I could have packed a little bit more in each jar, but I was being a little bit cautious because I didn't know how they would can. I could have put another spoonful or so in each jar and less liquid. So.
Oh, you got the chat stopped. No wonder. I was sitting here trying to read the chat, and I was like, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. And so there was one out of all of those that didn't seal. And I use ball lids because Danny and I have lots and lots of ball lids. And so one out of what, 30?
Yeah, about one. I think it was only one, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I did 6 jars of cranberry sauce, and all those sealed. I did 3 jars of dill pickles, all those sealed, and I did 4 jars of greens, a mixture of our greens, mustard and kale and turnips, and all those sealed. So that's probably what, close to 60 jars, and only one didn't seal, so I think that's a pretty good track record. And I opened that one and made Danny some dessert, and he kind of liked it.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win for us.
That it was. Oh, man. Canning sweet potatoes. Miss Wanda can. And she's got a bunch more to can. we just stocked up on sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Yesterday we were in town and we saw this guy sitting beside the road in a parking lot selling sweet potatoes. And I said, hey, we're going to stop. I said, we never have enough sweet potatoes. And when we came back through, Danny says, do you really want to stop? And I said, yeah. I said, you know, I've got some, but I want to make sure I have enough because every year we run out, no matter what, because he eats so many. And so we stopped, and the guy wanted $25 for a 50-pound box?
25-pound box. He wanted $25 for a 25-pound box.
No, it come out to, it was more than that because he said it was 62 cents a pound.
It was 20.
It was 50-pound box. That's why it was hurting your back so much.
Okay, maybe it was it was 50-pound box for $25. Yeah.
And he put an extra potato too. He said it averages out a little over 60 cents a pound for the amount that he had in there.
Yes.
And so we brought that box home, and I cooked some last night for supper. I threw them in the oven, and man, they were delicious. And I did them the old-fashioned way. I didn't do them the way I showed in the video with the cornbread. I just didn't do anything to them. Didn't put any oil on them. Didn't do anything other than laying down some tin foil and put them on top. And they did that paper shell. And that's what Danny kept saying. Why don't you do that with the paper shell? They just taste better. And to be honest with you, they do. So from now on, I'm not going through all the rubbing them down and all. I've just always done that. And so we actually liked them better.
We did, yeah. Robert, I would put the fan on the west side. If I had it east and west, I would put the fan on the west side of it.
Oh, and the shocker is, somebody said shocker that I bought sweet potatoes. I was like, yeah. I went back today after lunch to find the guy, and I bought 4 more boxes. We use a lot of sweet
potatoes, guys.
And Danny did dig the rest of ours, but if I had, how many pounds? If we had 400 or 500 pounds, it still probably wouldn't be enough for us.
Yeah.
And so...
Cut Your Humans Network says, are sweet potatoes healthy in terms of carbs? Sweet potatoes are one of the most healthy, nutrient-dense plant or vegetables, whatever you want to call it, root crops, that you can actually eat. I mean, they are loaded. As a matter of fact, if I only have one vegetable or one thing that I had to live off of, it would be a sweet potato.
I do believe I could live off of them.
There's so many different things you can do with it, and it's so dense. And as far as carbohydrates, no, it is not real high in carbohydrates. What's high in carbohydrates are like white Irish potatoes or your Yukon Golds and all that kind of stuff.
How many sweet potatoes can 2 people eat? Well,
Let's put it this way. We could go through about 600 pounds a year real easy.
we have done that before.
Yeah.
Danny eats sweet potatoes in some way, shape, or form every day. I make sweet potato fries. I bake sweet potatoes. I make a sweet potato dessert, and he eats those. Probably 3 desserts a week, which is only about, what, 3 potatoes maybe in it,
Yeah, I eat
according to
about.
the size of the potatoes.
I eat anywhere between about 9 to 10 sweet potatoes a week.
Yeah,
You know, that's
pretty
that's
close.
that's somewhere in the ballpark of 9 to 10 sweet potatoes a week. Yeah.
Oh, how did the snake get in the glove box? There's a fresh air vent there, and we leave the fresh air vent on all the time, open. And I looked at him and I said, "Close that."
I told her, I said,
vent."
if you close it, all it does is because it has recirculate, where you recirculate the air inside the vehicle. And I told her, I said, if you do that, you're just recirculating air inside the vehicle. It gets stagnant, you know. She says, I don't care. I don't
Close
ever,
the
I don't ever
vent.
want it open again, you know. And there was no rat nest in the car. We didn't have to worry about that. There's no more rats.
Yes, I do make a sweet potato casserole. Usually I only make that ever so often. Danny's dessert sometimes is the same thing as a sweet potato
It's
casserole.
kind of.
I just don't add the pecans and coconut and stuff on the top. And every now and then I'll get special and do that.
Yeah, every now and then she loves me and she'll make up that stuff and she'll put the coconuts and the pecans and the raisins, you know, all that kind of stuff inside the mashed up sweet potatoes.
I got tickled. It Will Be Cool says anything orange is good for you except Cheetos and orange soda. And I got to say, a crush is just...
The orange crush. It's hard to find an orange crush
Yeah.
anymore.
Marie says, don't you get tired of them? No.
No, you cannot get tired of something that's that healthy for you. I mean, you gotta make a decision in life. Are you going to eat healthy or are you going to eat what tastes good all the time? And the answer to that is you got to eat healthy. I mean, I'm 64 years old, fixing to be 65. I can still get out and run like a scalded ape. I mean, I can climb. I can work physical. As a matter of fact, I can probably outwork most young people all day long. And I mean, and I've been broke all to pieces. Have heart problems, blown out knees, broke wrists. I mean, you name it. I mean,
Yeah, y'all want to see what he's been doing?
there is no reason why anybody needs to stop just because you get older. Just wanted to fix to show a sneak preview of something here, I'm pretty sure.
You see if they can see that.
You have to get it with a light. Get it behind this right here. Right there. That right there.
That's the beginning
That's the beginning of it.
of his syrup. Let's see, what do you call it? I don't know if he's actually... Let me see if I can get this one there. Furnace, syrup furnace for
cooking my sugar
cane
canes juice.
yeah. And then he's been working on it for days.
I mean, it's a long process for me. Hey, Suzanne, it's a long process for me.
This is another one. I'm just showing y'all. I'm gonna do a video on Pecan Grove. Y'all have to go over there if you want to see
I
what
can't
we're
even
doing.
figure out how that one looks the way it's turned.
That's where the door is. I ain't showed them the door.
Oh,
yet.
yeah,
I ain't got
okay.
to the door yet.
Oh,
I
you got
forgot
so
about
much
that.
stuff. You may not even have that in there.
I do. Where is it?
Probably it'd be up at the top somewhere. There we go. All right, Tim, take a look at here, Bubba.
I
Tim.
think I sent
Oh,
Tim.
you may have
this.
already sent that to Tim. Yeah.
That's the door. Tim made this door. Let me see if I can find. All right, this was today. Oh, the fire brick. Okay, let me see if I can get it. Okay, now he's been
Yeah.
laying the fire
I've
brick.
been laying the fire brick in the furnace part.
And then he's doing the side.
I'm laying the brick, yeah, down the side right now. Anyway,
But that's what he's been doing.
That's what I've been doing.
That's how come there ain't a whole lot of videos.
Yeah, I'm just basically. And I pick up pecans every day. I don't just do that all day. I go out and pick up pecans. I've been planting some stuff in the high tunnel. I've been fertilizing stuff.
I was gonna say they might could tell what I've been doing, but
this Wanda's been digging in the dirt.
no, I've been painting.
Oh,
but
yeah,
no,
you must have took a bath and got it washed off of you.
I did. I guess it washed off. I've got the last 3 4x8 sheets that go in the ceiling of the spare bedroom done, so Danny can put those up in the next day or two, and then we'll have to finish the walls. But the walls and the whole thing is what we're doing.
Yeah.
3 or 4 boards at a time.
Yeah. We got so much to do in such a short amount of time that you never know where we're going to be at or what we're going to be doing, because we have our daily chores. I mean, I have to feed the animals. I have to make sure they got hay or grass or it's just a ton of things I have to do every day on top of working on that furnace, trying to get it ready. Mr. Tim has been a really good friend. He's helping out a lot on the other end, trying to help get some of the mechanisms of this thing together.
Suzanne says she needs a helper. Are you available?
No, I am not available for nobody for nothing.
Not till my house is finished.
I ain't even available for Ms. Wanda right now.
Yeah, that's true. No, I get a few boards done and I'm like, okay, you got to put these up. He'll stop. He'll put the boards up.
I get up in the morning around 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And I fix breakfast at 5:30, and by 6:30 in the morning, it ain't even daylight. I'm already out getting stuff, bringing it in the house, nailing this up, nailing that up, so that by the time it gets daylight, I can run up to the barn and feed the animals, and then get out and get to work on my stuff, you know.
What is our deadline?
We don't have a deadline.
Well, for the syrup thing, he wants to get it done before we have a freeze.
Yes, which... Who could be
right now? I mean, we got down to what, 38, 39?
We got down to 38 here, yeah.
They're not predicting a freeze yet, so we're hoping it'll go through.
Mark told me now we could possibly have one in early November sometime.
Well, I was hoping you could go to almost Thanksgiving.
I mean, my thing,
that would give you time.
My information showed it was going to be right after Thanksgiving before we had a freeze, but Mark says, hey, we may have one a little closer than that.
Yeah, so it's one of those projects. I mean, he's working on it.
Okay, hold on here. I just happened to see this one right here. Burning daylight.
Oh.
Quick question, Danny. Now make sure we're clear before I answer something, because I know they're actually putting nanoparticles in vegetables now, so that they can be tracked in your bloodstream if it ever has to be. So. You know, I know that's not good, but now when you start talking about nano-infused products, I would have to...
I think from seed to plant in a tiny smart garden. Yeah, that's a nano garden. Nano weed edibles. I'm not sure.
Jen said she's going to stop by Monday.
Okay.
I
don't know, unless it's that they're putting things in seeds and...
Allison said we're colder in the morning than she is.
Oh, ABC said they had 4 frosts this week.
4 frosts this week. We hadn't had a
yet.
frost yet. Jeray says we had our first freeze yesterday at 21 degrees. Now it's 40 degrees at nighttime. We were 40. What did I tell you this morning? We were 40. I have to look at my monitor over there. We were 45, I think, this morning when we got up.
Okay, it says we have an excellent condition.
What are you doing, woman? Okay.
Trying to fix it.
All
okay,
right.
There we go.
It's locked now. You have to untick.
Unlock it.
You have to unlock it. There we go.
There we go.
Now. Let me see. You know what? I need to put my glasses
Molly says,
on.
I love you, but I will not allow a Kamala commercial to play.
What?
I have no control over these.
We have no control over that, but I am so sorry. I don't know how to apologize anymore. I am so sorry.
If you're like me, you just assume they go away. But anyway, all we can do is hang on for 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 18 more days.
Look, it can't happen
And
fast.
pray more than you've ever prayed before is all I can ask.
It couldn't happen fast enough.
The Country Humans Network said weird weather. They were 60 last night in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's that big heat buildup that's coming up.
Isn't that weird?
They got a positive N and O. How's that? How you say that? Positive. Yeah, positive.
I don't know.
Positive P and O. That's how it is.
We have turned the heat on.
We did
a couple of nights.
Yeah, we had to run it a couple
wasn't
times.
that it was really cold in here. Somebody said they had 2 commercials.
No! I am so sorry, guys.
Don't beat on this.
I am so sorry.
Oh. We're going to have to...
If they only...
You can tell who's paying the most money. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you can, I guess.
That's too funny. 82 in Minnesota tomorrow. Jeez.
Yep. They got that big high pressure ridge building up over them. It's coming up real high like that, and it's going to drop down on us right down here. Now, we're going to get that next week. It's going to be hot for us. We're going to go back up to 90 degrees almost. It was 84 today here. So, I mean, we started off at 45 and it got up to 84.
Nancy, yes, we started the wagon wheel craze in the sugarcane world about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, everybody's
taking it from us and going with it, but yeah.
We never get the recognition for it.
Nobody tells where they learned it from, but
no,
yeah.
I mean, you got lots of people like David the Good came here and he saw our wagon wheels and he loved it.
Yeah, he likes that.
There's been tons of people who's come by.
We actually, I found it online in another country. I was actually going through a lot of sugarcane videos in other countries, and I found one where they were planting like that. And I told Danny, I said, that just makes sense. And we actually love it.
I love it. I love it.
We love the
way
so
much easier to maintain the sugarcane.
Yes.
RCJO2 says, I want to fire up my new wood stove. You better fire it up ahead of time and go ahead and get that smell burn out of it. I'm going to tell you, I learned the hard way.
Yeah, he did.
Woo!
Danny actually cleaned our stovepipe this week, too.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did.
And so anybody that has a wood stove, please clean your
pipe.
That's one thing that most people forget the end of the season. And then they get ready and it turns cold and they say, well, I'll burn it this one time and then I'll clean it. Well, you could start a chimney fire. So for anybody that's got a wood stove or, something, clean the chimney, the pipes.
Guys, let's see here. Molly Smith says, Mr. Danny, we all prayed Milton down to a lower category. We need to pray some rain for you guys. And then Robin's Nest right behind it says, have you gotten any rain? No, we have no rain. After Milton, no rain in the forecast here either in Southwest Florida. We have had no rain for, gosh, what is it, about 2 months now? We ain't had no rain.
The other morning we had what was a mist.
A mist.
It was really weird. We got up to go to town, and on the way to town, the sun was hitting so hard in my face that I had to put my sunshades on, and it was like it was burning. It was, Danny and I both commented, and this was what, 7:30?
7:30 in the morning going to get the oil changed in the car. Yeah,
and it was just burning. And we went inside the building, and the sun was just intense. We stayed 45 minutes maybe. It wasn't long, and we were back out. And when we did, Danny goes, what happened? And he's looking around like, I didn't catch what he was saying. And then I looked up. The whole sky was like it was totally cloud cover. We had nothing in the forecast. There was a total cloud cover. And on the way home, we got a light mist. I mean, not even a rain. It wasn't even a raindrop.
It didn't even wet it didn't even wet the windshield.
Like what people say is a mist fan. That's the kind of mist we got. And then it stayed cloudy off and on all day. But it would come and go. If Danny went outside to work, the sun was out. If Danny came inside, it went cloudy. Don't ask me why. Somebody was watching him.
Yeah, I told her, I says, yes, I said, it's cloudy. Let me go out and start laying some bricks. I got out there and the sun popped out just like that. And I mean, I was in the ball screaming sun, sweating like a dog. I was like, man, I said, leave it to me.
Yeah, we're under a burn ban too.
Yeah, we are. We can't burn nothing here.
Yeah.
We can't even burn daylight.
We also, I started with the 60-foot raised bed. I planted some carrots, but they're not coming up. I don't know what's going on with that. And I've got some English peas, and some of those are popping up. I've got to clean 2 more sections of it, and we're going to plant some carrots. I think we're going to do the corotas. And what else you going to plant? Maybe some broccoli? No, what'd you say?
Cauliflower.
Was it cauliflower? Cabbage. Thought we were putting cabbage out back there.
Where?
In the raised bed, the 60-foot raised bed.
Well, we'll have to buy some because I don't have no more plants.
Yours didn't come up, did they?
No.
Your seeds?
My seeds didn't come
Lot
up.
of
All
your
the cauliflower came up, but none of the
other stuff.
none of the cabbages, none of the lettuces, none of that stuff. But none of the onions hardly came up. But the cauliflower, every one of them came up.
Our greens are beautiful.
Oh, the greens
and
are.
I've canned only 4 little jars, so I've got to go maybe in the morning and get some and can, or the next day one. He's got a doctor's appointment next week, so we are going to see. But I mean,
we got to go back to the doctor. I go ahead and just do what I want. I ain't worried about that doctor. I'm almost tempted not to even go, but I guess I need to go see what they say anyway.
We usually plant carrots in October, don't we?
Yeah, we plant carrots in October. Yeah, sometimes late September.
I've got carrots about this tall. The greens are about this tall. So I planted a month ago or better, and Danny said they ain't gonna do nothing. And I got a little strip of pretty carrots. So they may not make nothing, but the greens are pretty. You can't eat the greens. Chickens aren't laying. Yeah, it gets this time of the year they start slowing up. Wounded Knee says, what do you do about termites? The exterminator told me.
What do you know about termites? The exterminator told me we need to have the house tinted. Wounded Knee, it depends on the type of termite. There's 2 or 3 different types. If you have the Formosan termite, it's a termite that can fly. It doesn't have to have water. It doesn't have to go to the ground. It can fly and land on the side of the house and just start boring in. And they go and get their water and come and bring it back. If that's the kind of termite you have, then they require that the house be tinted and completely treated that way. But the downside to it is that once you treat the house after a certain length of time, the treatment wears off and they can return again. They're quite a problem in the deep, deep south.
We did order onions from Hoss this year, didn't we?
Yes.
We'll get them in November, I think, is when ours come in.
Yes, it will be. And November is when you plant onions in the south.
Chickens not laying. Do you think it's a solar flare?
Our chickens were laying 10 eggs a day, and now they're down to 1 egg a day.
Yeah.
Something has happened. Something. Now, I know it's less than 14 hours. It takes 14 hours of daylight. But if you up the protein to 22%, a lot of times they'll keep laying. It's just that I can't get 22% protein in non-GMO feed. 16% is as high as I can get.
Yeah, rabbits can eat carrot greens. They can eat almost anything green.
Rabbits can eat anything, just about.
What to do if your chicken hatches eggs now?
It doesn't matter. The mama will take care of them.
Yeah, she usually does.
Yeah, you got to realize this thing about having to have 90 degrees or 100 degrees on baby chicks is a myth. You know what I mean?
If it's fixing to be below freezing tonight, that's different.
That's different. But if
as long as it's 40 plus.
Yeah, if it's 40 degrees or warmer, I mean, you're okay. But a mama chick, she can take care of them chicks right through hard freezes and everything.
Okay, MedTech says, I can't find daily videos from Deep South. I do watch Pecan Grove, just wondering if I missed. We haven't been putting daily videos on Deep South. We do all our daily videos on Pecan Grove. Deep South is mainly our live stream and Danny's porch time. And
an occasional video
if it's something to do with Deep South, pretty much.
Yeah, we made the announcement way back in the spring that most of our educational videos will be over on Pecan Grove.
Yes, because that's what we're doing now for the most part. Um, we're trying to learn to grow stuff at Pecan Grove. That's the big deal.
Tambra, I have got the game bird. It's 36% here, but it's not non-GMO. It has GMO products in it here.
Anyone else been feeling stressed out no matter where this past week? Yeah. It's just the
It's the atmosphere. It's what's going on with the magnetosphere around us. That's the reason you're feeling stressed, and a lot of people are irritated, schizophrenic. I mean, depressed, all this kind of stuff, and it's the magnetosphere because
plus
of what
it's
we're going
also
through.
news media. If you watch a lot of news,
Oh yeah,
everybody's gonna be stressed. It'll make you stressed.
yeah. You got to stay away from this propaganda junk that you see on TV all the time. We don't even have a TV, so we're not sucked into all this. 3D Homestead says, have you ever tried soaking your chicken feed? I have in the past. I've soaked it, but I just don't like fooling with wet, nasty feed. You know what I mean? I just keep the water to my feed and to my chickens and just let them do the rest. You know what I mean? To me, it's just wet and nasty.
Trish said vertigo is real bad. We've heard
Yeah.
a lot of people having a lot of
Yeah,
vertigo
a lot of people have a
problems.
lot of vestibular problems now, and vertigo is really, really bad. Vicky says, are y'all down to 1 bull, 3 cows, and pre-sold calves? Yes, that's what we're down to, Vicky. We have the calves are are ready to go here in a little while,
And 3 mamas are pregnant.
all 3 mamas are bred. Yeah.
Lippy says, I don't get stressed. I get mad and drink lots of coffee.
Yeah, Lip. I watched you go get your pots today, and
That's some pretty pots. I
those
like
are
the
some.
color.
I like the color of the pots. I really do.
That dark green would fit in my high tunnel real pretty.
Yep.
I'd swap you the black ones for the green ones, and just joking.
Yeah.
But I like the way they're beveled, or what is it?
Bevel.
Not beveled, but the pot's not round. It's got
It's
those
pleated.
pleated.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
got the little pleats in it.
Yeah, and Lippy knows I had a Southern Turnings coffee today. I had to stop by. I've been passing this little coffee hut every time we go to town. I mean, they built it, a year ago?
Yeah.
And Danny says, how many coffee huts do we need around town?
I mean, our town's got like a dozen of them.
I didn't know it was Southern Turnings. I just thought another coffee hut, and I love Southern Turnings, and it's downtown. The only time I go get a coffee from there is if we're downtown, and we never go downtown unless it's a special occasion. And so I was looking today. I looked up Southern Turnings because I was going to look up the menu.
Yeah.
And they had one on our side of town that we pass every time we go in and out of town. And I told Danny, I said, guess what?
Oh,
He's
man.
like, now we have another stop. Somebody says, do you live at Deep South or have you moved to Pecan Grove, or is that still a secret? Well, it's not a secret.
It's not a secret. We actually go back and forth between both places, to be honest with you.
We're trying to get everything at Pecan Grove where we can sell Deep South. We've had painter in there, actually. She's on here tonight.
Yep.
And she's done the painting, and to be honest, we really hadn't done nothing past that. Danny's been busy with other stuff, but we do plan on selling. So you can drop the million things that says where are we living. I don't understand why that had to be your one. I mean, good Lord, woman, stop. I think it's a bot.
It's a bot. It's a bot.
But it's a live bot because
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ignorance prevails.
True. But anyway, yes, and I did the videos in the kitchen. It's not finished. We still have a lot to do in the kitchen at Pecan Grove. But I can cook, and I can do canning in the electric canner. So I did make that happen this week. whatchamacallit says they love Southern turnings too. The hut. See, I didn't know that's what it was. Now, now Danny's in trouble.
I mean, I'm like, why so many coffee shops? You know, I mean,
our little town probably has 6 or 7.
There's a pile of them. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, good Lord, just make a pot of coffee at home and take it to work with you. You know, I mean,
it ain't as good.
They make these things like these.
I got water, not coffee.
You know, like this. You can put coffee in it and stay hot half a day. You know what I mean?
Okay. Where are we at? All right, somebody else.
Small Louisiana Homestead said, I'm the one that asked the question, said, but the bot took it over.
Yeah, they're doing it again. Y'all just keep deleting them. I think that's what it is. They're trying to ruin our chat. So our moderators are pretty good. They're on it. Lippy's going to be tired when she gets through. Her fingers are going to be...
Yeah, Sharon said her husband woke up with vertigo this morning. I have it pretty bad, but I also know that we've had some huge solar flares, and let me put it this way: when you see the northern lights coming way down south, get ready, because lots of people go, "Oh, look at it! They're so pretty." That is the worst thing in the world you can experience, because it's pure radiation, just like going to a doctor getting radiation run through your body. That's just pure radiation running through you. It's gamma rays like you wouldn't believe. You know what I mean? So
yeah, moderators just delete or ban whatever.
Ban. Just go ahead and ban them. Just don't
even try to hide them.
Don't try to hide them. Don't try to time them out. Just ban them.
They just keep changing names, so it's going to make it difficult. And so just let the moderators handle it too. The rest of you. Because if y'all try timing them out, it'll take it longer.
Robert Mitchell says, Danny, do you slaughter your own pigs? Matter of fact, we got one, and probably in a few weeks we're going to be hanging up, putting in our cooler here.
Yeah. We are planning on doing that. So we have not only the cane syrup, but the pigs coming up. And we haven't done the juice from our muscadines. It's still in my freezer. All the muscadines are.
Yeah.
So we're fixing to have to deal with that. My sister says she saw a comet pass over last night.
Oh. Your sister.
This one woman, Amanda, said her.
Oh, I thought you said my sister. I'm like, is your sister on here?
Oh, that's funny. No, I was reading Amanda's comment. I forgot to say it was Amanda. All right, Grand T says, we found a meat store that raises and slaughters their own hogs. The meat was pink, red, raw, and white when cooked. Great flavor. Tenderloin wrapped in smoked bacon is yummy. Yes, pigs are supposed to be pink or red looking.
Pink, the white meat for a pig, if you get pig meat and it's white, don't eat it. I'm just going to tell you.
It's been raised very differently.
It's been raised different. Pig meat should look just like beef or anything else when you get through cutting it. Matter of fact, it should be dark red.
Have you used the cub lately? Over on Pecan Grove, we did grits and cornmeal.
We ground cornmeal.
Yeah.
I got it sitting in the shop right now, though. I got new gaskets and all for the rear end of it. I got to pull the PTO plates off of it, put new seals in it, new gaskets. It's just one of those things I've been holding off about doing, but I got to start cutting hay, so I got to get it fixed.
MedTech, yes, you can use pear juice from Azure to make pear butter. I guess I didn't know you used the juice. I could do pear jelly. I've made pear jelly before, but I've never made pear butter, so I'm assuming you can. Is now a good time to put down bone meal? Blood meal.
It depends on Mississippi Soldier what you're putting it down on. Just remember, when you put down blood meal, it's not, most of it's organic. You're only going to get about 8% of it up front, and it's going to take about 4 months for it to actually break down to where the plants can utilize it. If you're trying to look for instant nitrogen, it's really not the way to go. But if you're trying to get your beds ready for next spring, I would probably wait till the end of November to put it in the bed if I was just trying to do it to get my beds ready. But if you're actually planting something, you'll remember you're only going to get about 8%, and then you're going to have to wait for it to break down before the plant can utilize it.
Okay. All right. You need the pear to make pear butter. That's what I was thinking. You had to have the fleshy part to make the butter. But if you have the juice, you can make the jelly. And I have made pear jelly or pear syrup. Pear syrup is awesome, like poured over anything that you would use a syrup for. It's delicious.
Sandra says, is this a good time to plant onions? Well, Sandra, it depends on what part of the country you live in. If you live in the deep south, it's more of mid-November to plant onions. If you live in central United States, you could probably plant them now. But if you live in the north, you're going to have to wait till spring.
I haven't got my Azure apples yet. I have some in my cart. Our thing closes the 29th, so I'll get them like the first week of November. And I do plan on canning some of them, probably quite a few of them. I got Granny Smith's, Honeycrisp, and I can't remember the other one. I got 3 different types.
Let's see here. Grant T says, do you have an opinion or experience with a PTO generator? Yes, they use a lot of PTO generators down south here when they have the chicken houses in case the power goes out, because most of the PTO generators on the tractor are like 10 kW to 15 kW, and they can run these big chicken houses. They're really good to use, but I mean, I don't have a problem with them. If I had one, I would definitely use it.
Yeah. Do you have a good tip for mice?
Do I have a good tip for mice? We use a...
Good night, Amy.
Oh, we use a product. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It comes from the feed store. It's called Ramex. Ramex, I believe. Now, it's not this junk you get from Walmart that's green, okay? This comes from the feed store. It looks like it comes in these big giant bars, and they're not supposed to sell them by the box because some woman tried to poison her husband with one of them one time. So now they have to sell them in individual bars, and they kind of have the smell of peanut butter. But those things really, really do work with getting rid of mice. And actually, they got rid of possums too, because the possums came up and ate them, and the possums died. So it's really good.
And she said she heard it again today, so she's hurting again. It is hard when you mess up a toe, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's one of the hardest things to get past.
3B Homestead said, I hope y'all can get a deer this year so you can show processing it in the new room. We plan on it, but now we do have videos for processing deer and how I do it.
Well, they want to see the new room.
I know they want to see the new room, but we do have videos on Deep South.
Yeah.
About what did we have to take it off of Deep South, or did we put it on Patreon?
I think it's still there.
It's on Patreon, I know.
I think it's still on Deep South.
Okay. I show you how I skin a deer without getting my hands even bloody.
He doesn't get dirty when
I skin a deer, I don't get blood all over me.
And he don't get dirty, trashy stuff all over it.
Nope.
I used to have a meat processing plant, my husband and I, before Danny, and we did deer, and the guys would bring it in, and there would be so much trash and dirt and stuff. They didn't know how to skin deer. I'm talking, and I would cut it off, because if I'm not going to eat it, I'm not putting it in your meat. And Danny, he's very clean.
I'm very clean.
He's clean.
I'm like super clean when it comes to.
Don't even get hair on it, really.
No, I don't even get hair on it.
He has a way to do it that it don't even.
I don't even get no hair on it. No.
And I bought a lot of stuff from Azure and made him some granola today. Was it pretty good? You didn't eat much yet, did you?
What was that now? I'm sitting here reading.
Granola.
Yeah, I done eat most of that bag of it.
You ain't getting no more for days. I
I
had
know
the
it.
rest.
Vicky says, if you poison critters, do they poison what eats the poisoned carcass? Yeah, I don't know, Vicky. I guess I don't
We've
have.
never had any problems with anything
We've
else.
never
So.
really had anything. Now we don't leave it where our chickens can get to it. We don't leave anything like that. You know. Of course, now we don't have a rat problem, and we don't have all. We just don't have ticks and rats and all that kind of stuff here. You know. I mean, we pretty much keep our place under control.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you live in a neighborhood or a close proximity to neighbors that have wandering pets, then I wouldn't recommend just leaving it anywhere. You have to be very careful.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any dogs, we don't have any cats, we don't believe in all that stuff. You know, so our place is virtually like virgin land here. We eradicate anything that we can't eat. You know, I mean, if we can't eat it and it does damage to our place, we just eradicate it. You know, I mean, that's the easiest way to be. And we have nothing but we have quail, we have rabbits, we have turkeys, we have deer. In surplus here because we eradicate and get rid of all the critters that we don't like.
Let me answer a couple now. What prompted me to start ordering from Azure? Well, a couple of years ago I was going to order, but the drop was too far from our house. And anything that Danny and I can't raise here, we have to buy in town, which we have a Walmart and a Piggly Wiggly, or I have to order from Walmart or Amazon online. And you know you don't get the best products as far as organic. And anything I ordered organic, usually Bob's Red Mill, some of those type things, cost a slight fortune. And I ordered them because I didn't have a choice. And so several people had told me Azure had a drop, but I really didn't check into it till, 3-4 months ago?
Yeah.
And when I know what it was. 3 or 4 months ago, Azure themselves contacted me. A girl from Azure contacted me, and she said, "I see you made an account, but you didn't ever order anything." I said, "Well, I didn't have a drop close." And she says, "Well, you have one that's 45 minutes away."
It's about 40 minutes
And
from us, yeah.
I said, "Really?" And when she told me, I knew there was one toward the coast, and Danny and I hate going to the coast. So I said, "Sure, I'll check into it again." And really, when I started checking into it, the prices were so comparable at Azure to what I was ordering online.
Yeah.
And I trust the
Well, we know the
vetting process.
Well, we know the owner personally.
And so I did an interview with David Stelzer, and
Yeah.
I got to ask him a lot of questions off camera and on camera that I thought, as a consumer, I wanted to know. And so it made a lot of sense. And I've been doing some price checking on 3 or 4 items that I use, and I'm going to do a video coming up soon, but y'all will be shocked. Everybody tells me how expensive Azure is, and I'm like, not really. When you really
isn't.
start paying attention, ounce for ounce or pound for pound, you're going to find Azure is as cheap, plus it's organic, or you're going to find out it might be a touch cheaper than some of the things you order online. Because if you're buying a small package and you don't pay any attention to what you're paying for that small package, and you turn around and buy, say, 5 pounds at Azure, you get it cheaper by buying it in bulk than you do buying that small package. And it really works out. And I've never used Thrive, so I can't answer the question about the Thrive. So from what I understand, they don't sell in bulk. What's the big difference in them?
Okay.
Jennifer says, "Can I have a horse?"
Now, first she says, growing up, if we couldn't eat it, then we couldn't have it. I mean, that's the way I was. I was just that way, you know. I mean, if we couldn't eat it, we couldn't have it. They couldn't have a horse because you couldn't eat it, you know. I mean, well, I guess you could if you wanted to, but
yeah.
Okay.
There was one down here. I lost it now. My only frustration with Azure is that they keep selling out of stuff, and they say probably will not come back in time for the order, child of God. That is true, because the way their company operates is they go to the farmers and to the manufacturers. And so, like, if I'm growing cabbage and he gets cabbage from me, when my cabbage is gone, it's gone. If you ordered it and I didn't have enough to fill his orders, then he doesn't have it. I mean, it is kind of bad for the consumer sometimes. Just like with apples, I ordered apples immediately, but I have a whole month of other people ordering apples, and these are coming from their Azure farm and connected farms. And I'm like, I want some of those apples, but I might not get them on my order because he may sell out.
Okay. Ronald Beatty says, maybe you can do a how-to on gutter and cleaning the deer. I have videos on gutting and cleaning the deer without...
And making sausage.
And making sausage and...
Cutting it up.
Cutting it up. I have videos on all that stuff over on Deep South Homestead. Diane says she drives 45 minutes to get their Azure orders.
What is the difference between molasses and cane syrup?
Molasses is made from cane syrup. Sorghum, you cannot make molasses from sorghum. Sorghum is made from cane syrup. It's another process. You got to refine it just a little bit more.
You cook it more.
You cook it more, and more nutrition in it than cane syrup does. Believe it or not, if you go back to the old manuals back in the late 1800s or early 1900s, you will find out that cane syrup was, or molasses, let's just say molasses, was prescribed for women who were pregnant because it had so many minerals in it that literally it was good for pregnant women to eat, to make sure they got all their vitamins and minerals.
Yes.
Allison found it there, and she's putting it up.
The playlist.
The playlist for the deer.
So click that playlist Miss Allison put up if you want to watch deer skinning videos and everything, all the whole process, I guess.
Let's see here.
All right. Does molasses help prevent gray hair? I don't know.
What prevents gray hair is getting rid of stress and making sure your copper levels is up in your body. That's what gets rid of gray hair. And then some families, it's just hereditary. There's nothing you can do about it. The Bible actually talks about gray hair. So, I mean, but literally, really truthfully, gray hair does come from lack of copper and stress.
Mr. Ray said, remember his wife in prayers.
Okay. She's got lupus.
Oh, I wanted to mention, somebody asked about Keith.
Yeah. And two, we have this little object here. The aliens left us this. Check out their technology here. This is kind of neat here. Look at that. I don't know if it'll actually show up or not on the camera or not, but it actually changes colors. Look at that.
I was going to give them an update on Keith. Let me see if I can.
It's really weird, guys.
I'm not going to read all of it, but and I can't remember what Keith goes by. It's Keith Sutton. He's been with us a long time. And somebody asked about him last weekend, and so he answered me. He has been in the hospital. He said he fell off the roof and broke 3 ribs. He fractured his spine. A lot of soft tissue damage, blood clots. He had 3 major infections. He spent 6 weeks in the hospital. I think he's home now. He has another surgery coming up, and he and I went back and forth for a day or so talking, and he's still going. He's still at his church, giving his Sunday school and things like that. So y'all keep Keith in prayers. What is that thing? Did you?
Carolyn says, "What is that thing for?" It's just for when you don't feel like you got nothing else in the world to do. You just mash the button and sit there and play with it. You know
it's a light.
It's a light.
Basically, to me, it would be a kid's light.
It's for kids to play with in the dark.
It's called a spear from Olight. They sent it when they sent the Olight that we did the video on. This, what was it called? The art field.
Yeah.
They always send 2 things, and we got the art felt. Danny did a video on this one. This is the one that he dropped.
Ran over.
And dropped in water
Put
and
it
everything.
in water and everything else. Still works, though. It didn't hurt
worked.
it. It worked. They said it would do it, and it did.
He said, I'm going to prove it. So we have fun with the Olight. But yeah, the spear is the second Olight they sent. I've got 2 or 3 that are similar. And they do have this little thing that comes around, and it has a handle on it that you can tote this around. There is a stand this sits on so that you can put it on your desk or whatever.
Yeah.
It works like any other light. It's like a night light.
James Kidd says, what is vertigo? It's when you can't hold your balance. It feels like the room is spinning around all the time. You know, it's like it's an inner ear issue. Usually there's crystals in your inner ear that gets out of whack, and you start losing your ability to your equilibrium, your ability to stand up straight. You just get dizzy, you get drunk.
Yeah, Olight comes out with all kinds of cute stuff. I don't usually show the cute things that they send us, but Danny wanted to play with this one.
Yeah. I seen it sitting there and started mashing around on it and figured out how it is.
Yeah.
Old Dominion says that sphere may attract space aliens.
It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. I guess if you went outside, something's liable to take you down for it.
Actually, the last one that I had, I sent to somebody, that a lady, one of our subscribers, that mentioned something about her daughter. I think her daughter's name was Wanda. And she talked about that she liked watching us. So I got her address and I sent her the last little Olight spear I think I had.
Oh, Authors. I knew about, you told us last week, Authors Illustrated, that your husband had fell, and we did pray for him, but she says he's fell again down the stairs and ripped the stitches open.
Oh, sounds like Amy with her toe.
Yeah.
It's hard to be still. It really is, isn't it, Daniel? Yeah, it really is. It's almost time for prayer requests, so y'all can go put them up.
Robert Mitchell says, Danny, I really... Oh, hell, let me see if I can get here and get this thing stopped. Okay. I would seriously like to know why YouTube is so against you showing you dispatching an animal before you slaughter it. It's just a part of life. It is just a part of life, Robert. But the problem is...
Most people
are so soft, they can't handle it, especially if you take a rabbit and you just like pop his neck in, or knock him in the back of the head to cut his throat, you know, and stuff like that. They just can't handle it because it's a baby bunny rabbit, you know what I mean? But
Bambi.
Or shooting a deer or anything like that. It's just part of life. God told us to have dominion over the animals. They're put here for our benefit. They don't have... I can't say they don't have feelings, but because they do have some types of feelings, but they're put here for our benefit and for our purpose. They're not put here to be admired and worshipped or anything like that. I mean, God gave them to us to eat. And
we haven't done the other cactoli yet. Danny's got a video he's got to make on it, and he's been busy with the syrup building. So we should have that in the giveaway this week.
Darlene, let's see here. Mr. Danny, how long after dispatching and cleaning do you let chickens rest? I usually let my chickens rest from 24 to 36 hours in the refrigerator or cool down to 34 degrees before I freeze them. Because if you don't, you won't be able to eat them things with a hatchet. I mean, you can chop it. They'd be so tough, like eating a rubber fishing worm.
I agree they shouldn't watch it. I don't watch things. If I'm going through and I'm watching, I'm looking at all the things that pop up, the little, what do you call them, thumbnails. Okay, if I see something that I don't particularly like, I'm not going to click on it and then tell people how wrong they are for making that video. It's their video. They can do what they want to.
Right.
But when we never did do a rabbit video. I had it all.
We had it made and ready to go up, but I
refused to put it up because about that time, one or two other people put them up, and the the comments were horrendous.
Well, they were horrible.
And I told Danny, I said, I'd rather just not do it. So I
Yeah.
never put a rabbit video up. And I think we pulled a couple of videos down for a little while because people were getting so hateful about it. I didn't pull them down. I just closed them for a while.
Yeah.
And I think I opened them back up. But yeah, it is a part of life if you, especially if you plan to eat food that you raise.
That's it. I mean, we give animals the best life they can possibly have. They just get one bad day. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, when we take our animals off to the slaughterhouse, if we decide to do that, we don't harass them and run them and try to make them get in trailers or anything like that. And most of them walk right up in the trailers. I mean,
we're very easy with our
very
animals.
easy with them. Yes.
Not everybody is. I get that. So how do they think they get in the grocery store? I don't know if they even think past anything.
I don't think they think past going through a fast food restaurant and getting a hamburger, which really ain't
I saw
hamburger.
a video of one lady her son had a friend over, and she went outside. She says, "Hey, y'all want to help me dig potatoes?" Or she told her son, "Come on, help me dig potatoes," or something. And the two kids went outside with her, and she was digging up potatoes, and the other kid goes, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I'm digging potatoes. We're going to have French fries after a while." And the kid goes, "I'm not eating that." And she said, "Why? That's potatoes." And he says, "It's got dirt all over it." And the kid literally did not know that you grew potatoes underground. He had no clue. And that's because our society doesn't teach people where their food comes from.
Right.
So,
I can promise you, if you ever went to a chicken processing factory, which I have,
you won't eat chicken
you'll
again.
never eat chicken again. I promise you.
Not from a store.
Not from a store you won't.
You would rather raise your own and
Yes.
kill it yourself, even though you don't kill nothing. You would say, "Okay, I'm done with that. I will do it myself." You would, especially if you are not a neat freak. What's the word I'm looking for?
If you're a tender-hearted person, you'd freak out.
No,
But if you're really into cleanliness and all that stuff, you would not.
You would just say, okay, if you knew what went on in some restaurants, you'd never eat out again.
Oh my gosh! I have built these restaurants, and if you ever seen what went on behind the scenes, you would not eat at another restaurant.
Yeah, meat isn't raised in a styrofoam tray. That is true.
Oh man.
Okay, so we have got a lot of prayer requests. Trey messed his finger up the other day. He didn't break it, I don't think. Amy with her toe. Mr. Ray. Who was it? Arthur.
Yeah.
Her husband.
Her husband
I was going
fell.
to say his wife,
No.
but it was her husband.
Yeah. They fell off the ladder, and then fell back down the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, Joan says her friend's daughter grew vegetables but wouldn't eat them. That's the way a lot of people are.
We know a lot of people that do that.
And a lot of people will can their own vegetables and put them on shelves, and then they'll go, "I don't know how to cook them," or whatever, and they go, "I just eat fresh. I just canned in case."
Yeah.
So
yeah, we don't eat out at restaurants. I know too much what goes on behind the scenes. Not only did my first wife work in a restaurant, I have built them. I have been building on restaurants while they were cooking in them. I see what goes on behind the scenes. No, not going to do it.
Yeah. We need to pray for our country. And
Meditech says they're praying for wisdom on whether or not to purchase some land. I would say it would be a good decision to purchase land. Good night, Jeannie. Henry says, let's pray for rain.
Yes.
Let's pray for rain in moderation. How about that?
Yeah. Danny prayed for rain for one lady one night 2 or 3 years ago, and she said, "Danny, don't pray no more." She said, "Pray for rain in moderation," because she was in an area that didn't get rain hardly ever, and she said, "We need some rain." And he prayed, and she says, "It won't stop. Pray it'll stop now."
Yeah.
So we do need to pray in moderation. Oh, Trey did break his
Yeah,
finger.
did
Okay.
break it. Yeah.
He did break his finger, but he didn't. I don't think they had to have surgery. That's what I remember. Yeah, not all restaurants are bad.
No, there are good restaurants out there. I
But
know they are.
these quick fix where you've got kids, if you know your teenager does not even clean their room and you have to fuss at them about picking up after themselves and then they go to work at McDonald's, you got a problem.
I'm with Allison now. There's a lot of people, I ain't eating at their house either.
Nope. And some of them's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I ain't figured out how people go in their kitchen and cook and do stuff on and put it on YouTube in some of the less clean houses I've ever seen. Less clean kitchens, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. We are
How
after
are you going
to do when you want to do it. It's not that you won't have any money, it's that they will tell you how you can use it.
Bart says keep him in prayer. I hope that the whistle stop is okay. Oh, we'll be cool.
We'll be cool.
We haven't eaten there in a
We
long,
haven't
long
been to the
time.
Whistle Stop in a long, long time.
Last time I went there, I was not happy with the hamburger steak.
No, my
I
uncle
won't
came
order
down
that again.
from Tennessee, and he invited us to go there. I didn't eat it all, did I?
No.
I didn't eat it all. When my whole family went to Whistle Stop, I didn't eat. I just sit there and talk to them. But
Yeah. I've been one time since then, and the hamburger steak wasn't good, but everything I've ever eaten at Whistle Stop, which is only 4 or 5 times since 11 years.
Well, when the Whistle
was
Stop
good.
was first built, I was personal friends with the owners of it. So
And it was very good.
it was good then.
I don't know who has
I don't know
it.
who has it now. Author said my husband's name that fell is Calvin.
Okay.
I guess I should have said his name.
All right.
Lots of people having problems. I
A
mean,
cough. Diane says she has a
yeah.
bad cough. All right. So we need to have a prayer.
Yep. Oh man.
Somebody says they canned tomatoes. They siphoned but sealed. Are they okay?
Yeah.
Should be,
As
if
long as
it's
they're
sealed.
sealed. As long as they're sealed.
Just
Don't.
check them tomorrow. Put them in the fridge if something looks odd and go ahead and use them. But if they sealed and there's nothing looking crazy tomorrow, they should be fine.
Big Gatlin Whistle Stop is not on Highway 49. It's on Main Street in Wiggins.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's pray. Father, we bow our heads tonight, Lord. We come to you humbly, approaching the throne of grace. And Lord, been a lot of requests went up tonight. I pray that you'll consider each and every one of them carefully. A lot of people are having surgeries or have had surgeries and having tests done. People just have illnesses, Lord. Mr. Ray's wife, I mean, he mentioned her, and Ms. Arthur's husband that fell, and Lord, just tons of other people. Trey's finger and Amy's toe, and Lord, we could just keep on going on and on and on about the different ones. People having a lot of vertigo problems because of what's going on with the atmosphere, a lot of depression, anxieties, Lord. We're just asking for some relief from all this stuff, Father. The old devil's out to seek and destroy us, and Father, I just pray that I just lift them up before you in the name of Christ and ask that you heal them, Father, or if you don't heal them, then give them the grace to go through the problems that they're having to go through. I know, you didn't keep Daniel out of the lion's den. You didn't keep the Hebrew children from the furnace. You was with them through it, Father. So we know that you can do it. I mean, you didn't take the giants out. You used David to do it, Father. And as we face the giants of our life, I do pray that you'll help us to be an overcomer now, and that you'll bless us, Father. And then when we do, please, Lord, we don't want to forget to thank you for being so good to us. And Father, we're coming up very, very close on time. for elections. Our country's future hangs in the balance right now, Father. And I pray that your people will get out tonight or tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and they'll start voting, Father. And then when the big day comes, if they hadn't voted, they'll vote that day for what's morally right for this country. Not necessarily a particular person, but Father, just vote morally and scripturally for the things that's important. And I know that if we do that, then you'll begin to heal our land, Father. But until then, it looks like we're headed down a drain that we can't get out of. So we do pray for our country. And Lord, I pray that if we do go down the wrong road, that you will be with your people and you will help to support your people and you'll keep your people safe and you'll protect your people from all the plagues and the diseases that come upon this earth, Father, because they will come upon us. And when the missiles begin to fall in America and the cities begin to burn, Father, that your people won't panic, but they'll stand up and say, Father, I belong to you and I know you're going to take care of me now. So we just ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Let's see here. Man, get straightened back up. Don't forget your shirts, guys. If you need shirts, go check them out.
Yes.
These are some good shirts.
What? Rustic Charm Fields. .etsy.com, and she does have a website, but I'm not sure if she hadn't let me know if it's up and running yet. I'm not sure on the website. I know that it was going to be Rustic Charm Fields, probably .com, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
Big Gatlin says, Danny, expecting anything on October the 24th? Well,
it's the day after you go to the doctor.
It's the day after I go to the doctor. I mean, who
Let's
knows?
hope it's not.
But anyway, with the planet alignment, I don't think they even know what's going to happen. You know, I mean, this hadn't happened since 79 AD, and so it's going to be kind of it's going to be kind of interesting to see if anything actually does happen. I mean, the 19th was supposed to have been something bad, but nothing really ever happened. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Edward says, how dare they run an ad during your prayer? Look.
They run them all the
time. They
time.
run them all the time. Ain't nothing we can do about it.
I try to take, once the video goes up, if I remember, it takes about an hour to 2 hours for it to render. And during that time, there's no way I can even touch the ads. And lots of times that's after 10 o'clock, so I'm in bed. And so for all of you that watch it, and I forget tomorrow to take some of those ads out, because they put like 25 to 30 ads in our live stream. I don't do that. YouTube does that. They don't want people to watch the live stream.
Happy birthday, Nexit.
And so I try to go in and narrow it down to about 10 ads instead of 30. And I forget. Most Sundays I'm wide open doing things and I forget. So y'all have to forgive me.
Well, everybody wants a tip. I don't know if you could actually call this a tip or not. But people in the ravaged areas of Helene up in the Carolinas, guys are not being told the whole truth. Do y'all remember the Exxon Valdez oil spill? Do you remember Horizon oil spill? Do you remember these catastrophic events that took place? Do you know that from Exxon Valdez that most of the people who went to work there to help do the cleanup and all that stuff, most of them have died? And do you know that the cleanup behind Horizon, a lot of those people are sick, many of them have died, lots of autoimmune diseases, lots of cancers and everything because of what they were exposed to. In the Carolinas, there has been a lot of toxic things, I'm just going to say things, that has been released in those rivers and in the waters and stuff like that. And you're going to begin to see people getting sick left and right with all types of problems that's been exposed to those waters. The land up there now is mostly toxic, to be honest with you. The rivers are all toxic now. There was some untalked about nuclear waste that supposedly or allegedly, let me use the word allegedly, got into those rivers, and lots of chemical plants that had issues that got into those rivers allegedly.
And it went into the houses.
And it went into all the people's houses that were flooded, and people's in there trying to clean their houses out and live in those houses. Those houses should be condemned and tore down and got rid of, because they're not safe to live in anymore.
We'll kind of give an example. After Katrina, when Katrina came in, same scenario, sort of, kind of. A lot of people went into their houses and cleaned and done, and they got all kinds of different problems because there were bacteria in that water. And when water comes in and then it goes out, and they didn't allow them back into their houses for several days.
Yes.
Then you've got mold growing, and y'all know mold is one thing that is not good for you to be exposed to.
Right.
And then the next problem is, a lot of these people went in and fixed their houses, and 6 weeks later they come in and say, oh, did you spray it with this to kill all the mold? And they said, no, nobody told us to. Well, they had to tear out everything they'd just done. They got no money from insurance, and they had to tear it out and start over on their own money. So if people are in their houses fixing things right now, the government may come in later and say, hey, look, you should have done this, this, and this, because they pass laws, and then they come back and make you do it.
Yeah, so guys, if you're one of the people who run up there to help, please be careful. Been released into the atmosphere, and people breathed them in. Most of them died from cancer years down the road, and they say, oh, that was just a natural occurrence. They just got cancer from somewhere else. No, it came from that spill. And knowing that these chemicals has been released into these places, it's now in the soil, in these rivers, it's in people's land everywhere. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just give you a personal opinion here right now. Okay?
You're freezing. Buffering.
I'm buffering. You might know I'm buffering.
It says we have an excellent connection.
But I'm going to give you a personal opinion here. This is just Danny theology, okay? More than likely, a lot of these places will be condemned to be lived in, which will open the door for you-know-who to come in and purchase the land so that they might be able to harvest the minerals that lie deep underground in these areas. So that is a very high probability, because it has happened in Kentucky. It has happened in many other places when there's been massive catastrophes happen. So it's not necessarily a tip, but more of a pray for the people who live in these areas, because when these people have lived there for hundreds of years, these families, and it's family land, been in people's families for years and years and years, and I have been through a lot of these places in those mountains, and it was beautiful up in there, and now it looks like a war zone. It just looks like disaster, you know. And the people of those mountains are so headstrong. They're not going to accept that their land has been poisoned, and many of them will actually get diseases and die in the future because of what someone else done to them. And it's totally
and it happens all the
disgusting.
time in the United States, all over every national disaster. Like some of them said in Florida. Even Florida has this flesh-eating bacteria. Here in Mississippi on the Gulf Coast.
On the Gulf Coast we have the flesh-eating
all the time.
Yeah.
And so there's always, wherever, if there's an earthquake, if there's a volcano erupts, anything like that, even, it doesn't matter what it is, any natural disaster, you have some kind of disease afterward usually.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be a land grab situation, guys.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. If you have family that lives up there, if you have friends that live up there, I would strongly encourage them to leave, you know, and find somewhere else to live, because you know who's going to get their way one way or the other. They don't care about human life. And I mean, and I hate to say this, you know, I really hate to say this.
Because it could come to
Because
that with all of
it
us.
it could be any of us that could be experiencing
We
this.
could have severe. I mean, look at Australia a few years ago.
Yeah.
The fires just raged one right after another. Our land is so dry. That's one thing that really bothers me, is the dryness. We could have fires, and anything could happen. So, number one, my tip would be prepared to leave whatever you have,
Yeah.
because if you're in a situation, you might have to. I don't think a lot of these people even knew that that water was coming. So that's where the problem was.
Well, they didn't understand.
Yeah, because they'd never had it before.
It had, well, it's been had never happened in hundreds and hundreds of years. Even the flood of, what was it, 1916? The flood?
Never, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't even that bad. It went way above the flood of 1916, you know? And some of these people spent years building their homes, and just to see them washed away. And I've seen one couple where they had just moved into one of those places up there and put their whole life savings into this house, and they went back to Pennsylvania. I think it was Pennsylvania, to get married, this couple. And while they were in Pennsylvania, the floods came, and they went home, and the only thing they could take away was in a garbage bag. Everything was gone, you know? I mean, it's
and that's
it's
the
sad.
deal. If there's a problem, no matter if it's water, wind, ice, you know, fire, you have to be prepared to leave. And this world is not our home. That's the whole point. This world is not our home, and we don't want to cling to things of this world. Get your children, your animals that you can take with you, and get out if you have a severe problem. That would be my, you know, not necessarily that you can't go back, but at least leave for a short period of time.
Let me put it to you this way. Down south here in Louisiana, it's quite common, if the Mississippi River is going to flood too bad that it floods the city of New Orleans and they have to turn the pumps on, they have levees upstream that they can open, and they'll flood farmland up there. And they'll flood people out on those farmlands up there just to preserve that wicked city down there. Flood good people out of their farms and their lands up there and destroy everything they have just to protect that wicked city down there. And that happens quite frequently. And guys, I don't think that they'll ever really know how many people have actually perished from there. It may take years before they know, because there's people who probably was up there that visiting or camping or sightseeing or whatever you want to call it, just vacationing, and nobody has a clue that they were even up there, and they got washed away.
Until somebody says, hey, look, I don't know where this person is, and then they'll just may go as a reported missing person, so then there's no, until they recover something, you know, it's going to be bad for a long time. All right,
that's enough of that. Anyway, just pray for these people, and guys, if you got family there, please mention to them to be careful about the toxicity of homes, water. A lot of people are trying to go in and get belongings out and bring them to where they're at, to new places. They're just going to bring this problem with them. So please, you know, please talk to them about it, if nothing else, anyway.
Yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate y'all stopping by tonight, and I got to figure this out. Hold on. That's got to go away.
That's got to go away.
There we go. I'm figuring it out. Y'all join us over at